Okay, here, we're going to do a thing about the automobile manufacturer in the country. We have Chrysler, we have Ford, we have General Motors, and does anybody,
What was that?
what's the name of that other big four member?
I don't know, but aren't there's big four? What's it? Chrysler, Ford. That's not good because if neither of us can think of it off the top of our head.
Yeah. Then how many people even know it exists? But what I'm also grumping about the fact is that General Motors plans to sell 3 million small cars in the next sales year. I'm old enough to remember when the automobile manufacturers could turn on a dime to retool a factory. They could turn, if the car wasn't selling, I mean, in 1 year they could have a whole brand new line of cars out. The automobile manufacturers, the big four, of which people actually can only think of 3 off the top of their head,
At least we can, and we're both
are still pushing. I mean, this is General Motors' campaign. The Tahoe. They're pushing how good it does on gas mileage. It's still a great big car. They're pushing a Cadillac Escalade, which is a luxury big car.
It is a pretty sweet vehicle.
They're pushing the Volt, which won't even be around for 2 years.
But that's a pretty sweet car too.
And they're pushing the hybrid Malibu.
Okay, that one we could pass on.
Of which one of the quotes was, "We think that we can sell 9,000."
9,000 of a Malibu?
Yeah.
How many vehicles? I don't know how many they normally sell, but
Okay,
well,
this is the problem. They said the American manufacturers of hybrid vehicles are selling in the thousands. The Asians are selling in the hundreds of thousands, and they have a waiting list. Where the American manufacturers, the big four, have totally and absolutely refused to sell the automobiles that people want. They say, we know that people want small cars. Look at their advertisements. Almost all of their advertisements feature huge hybrids.
do you think that they use those because well, I guess if people
because-
want the smaller one. But those are like some of their marquees.
Yeah, but they don't want they're stuck in the past. This is 2008 going on 2009. People want a smaller vehicle. There's 2 reasons. 1, because a smaller vehicle is generally cheaper. And 2, because they can't afford the gas. They have to
Wait. Now, like, how small are we talking about? Because I have a compact SUV. I'd love to get a bigger one, but
they won't build it. The big four will not sell something like that to people.
Because I love it, but I couldn't go. I mean, as much as I think the Mini Cooper is really cute and the Smart Car is really cute, they're not big enough for me. I just like more car around me.
In order to get the chair
and the
dog
VW
in,
big too,
we would have to buy the Mini Cooper that has the golf club, door, which means you open up the door in the back and you can push the golf clubs.
But then you don't have room for anything else.
Nothing else. I mean, the Mini Cooper is
Hardly.
a nice little car to get around in, but I mean, like the shock and amaze. I mean, you sat on one side of the Mini Cooper, I sat on the other side of the Mini Cooper at the view. But there's not any room for a family of if most families in this country are families of 5.
Well, and you're not going to be in shock and awe because the Mini Cooper is not. Well, I wouldn't suggest putting a family 5 in there because if you did fit in there, you don't have room for anything else.
And it's not cheap.
How much is it? I'm trying to remember.
I don't know. I can't remember. Something
Isn't
around
it 19,000
upwards.
20 some odd thousand. Okay.
Depending upon what you got in it. I mean, it's really a great car. Doors open, weird back door in the back. But that is what the American public wants American car manufacturers to make. I mean, we are losing a war to the Asians, flat out losing it, because the Asians are screwing up. I mean, they're starting to go down the toilet too, because Asians are starting to turn out large vehicles that aren't selling. They've got into that big car mode also, but because their lines are all made up, are geared to producing gas-saving vehicles, when they screw up on the big side, they more produce on the other side, so they balance themselves out. Whereas here, what we're doing, instead of retooling lines, we're shutting down factories. I mean.
Well, do you think part of that has to do with unions, or how many cars they're selling? For example, like Saturn.
Saturn is a car that should have been, but never was, because it was supposed to be a low-cost people's car like the Volkswagen. Look at the prices on Saturn, folks. They're not that cheap. You know, people want a car, one. You're not making as much money as you were in the past. You want a car you can afford. Two, because the cost of the gas is never going to go down again. You're wanting an automobile that's going to get you good gas mileage. Three, you got to get a car that you're going to be able to transport people in. So, you know, but the big four are basically, they are stuck in the past. It's just like somebody that pushes pencils seems to think that big muscle cars are what people want. Just make them a hybrid and they'll buy it. No. You could make the, you could make the Humvee a hybrid and people wouldn't buy it now. It's just because they basically, how many muscle cars do you need in a family?
Well, you know, even like, for example, the hybrid vehicles. I remember when Porsche was coming out with their vehicle. The Porsche Cayenne is coming out. Well, actually, they've been talking about bringing it out as a hybrid version. They talked about it last year at the LA Auto Show. And one of the things they said is, well, what is it? It's not like Porsche and... Well, we know it's only 5% of the market, but we feel that it's really important that we bring one out.
Yeah, but it's still ugly. I mean, they also want a car that's not ugly as heck. I mean, that car looks like, you don't even want to imagine how ugly that car looked.
Well, you know, when it first came out, I had to pinch myself thinking that it was a Porsche.
Yeah, it's got the symbols on it that it's a Porsche. Actually, what it is a tricked out Volkswagen.
Well, you know, VW does have that same version.
Yeah, because
I think it's about $20,000 less.
What most people don't know, which is basically not a well-kept secret, is that a Volkswagen is a Porsche. A Porsche is just a better put-together Volkswagen. No, but I think, you know, basically...
Of course, how many Porsche enthusiasts would...
But Notaspringchick and I, we're going to take the war to the Asians this fall. You know, we're going to promote American vehicles in the land of the rising sun, folks. You know, because if our car companies aren't going to do it, then we're going to do it for them. Now, let's put a person in Tokyo in an American compact car. And bring compact cars over there, put them in them, and have the people of the rising sun tell us what they think of the American compacts with good gas mileage compared to their cars.
Well, they do like denims.
That's right.
So they might like other Western things too.
Our plan is to take the war to them, and we intend to. We won World War II. You know, we can win this war, but that's our, we're not going to have a surrender on top of a battleship because battleships are no longer available. But maybe the American manufacturers just all get together, get on board an airplane, go to Japan and Korea, and then stand on board an aircraft carrier and sign a letter of surrender, rather than to simply retool their bloody factories. So, I mean, there's got to be more on this because I've teed off the fact that the car manufacturers really don't seem to get the message. So until next time, this is Oldecam.
And this is Notaspringchick in the background.
Yeah, I'm never here yesterday, today, and tomorrow.